given the type of players that we have right now, you know, the Mbuemo, the Konya and everything, we also need a striker that can create for them. Because as much as those players are going to be creating for the striker, like you don't want like a one, like you don't want like a Haaland or anything like that, where like, you know, they're going to spend most of the time on the pitch trying to create for him, trying to cross for him. And yo, you guys, what is good, man? Welcome back to Real United Talk, where we talk about all matters Real Madrid and Man United. This is going to be a United Matters episode, and today I'm going to be talking about United striking situation. But first, before all of that, I'm going to talk about something major that just happened, or didn't just happen but happened a few days ago, which is Bryan Mbuemo to Manchester United. The deal is finally done. I think the total was what, 65 million plus like 5 million add-ons or something like that. Obviously, some people are going to say that we overpaid. You know, this is a player whose contract was done next year and everything. But apparently, what I heard is that, like, you know, Brentford actually had the option to extend his contract for a further year. So actually, like, he basically had a contract for 2 years, not 1 year. So, like, that can be like a misconception that everybody had. That's a misconception that I had personally. You know, I thought his contract was done next year and that was the end of it. But like, you know, a player with 2 years left on his contract and everything, again, 70 million is a crazy amount, is a lot of money and all of that. But at the same time, like, we need to know the market that we're in right now. Like, we're seeing what players are going for. Elanga was going for 55, Noni went for 55, like Gittins went to Chelsea for what, 50. Like, the market is not like, you know, they're going to pay a lot for a player nowadays. Quality players like Mbuemo don't come cheap in this market, especially when you're shopping in the Premier League, because this like smaller Premier League teams and all of that, like, you know, they're going to charge you a good amount for their players because they don't actually feel the need to sell. Yes, they still want to make money and all of that, but like, they want to compete. Like, all these teams actually feel like they can qualify for Europe, qualify for the Champions League and all that, so they want to compete. And like, you know, they actually, not that they feel like they're on the level of like Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, anything like that, but like, you know, they know that they can compete with them in terms of like, you know, getting into Europe. They know that like the Premier League is kind of like shaky right now, so like nobody, that whole traditional top 16, as much as like it's still a thing, like, you know, the levels are just shaking, the tables are shaking and all of that, so like nobody is as sure to finish in the top 6 nowadays. So like every team feels like they can do it. So yeah, this Premier League teams, you know, these like smaller Premier League teams are like, you know, that they feel bigger nowadays. So like, yeah, they just don't feel the need to sell, basically. Like, unless they're having like a crazy financial crisis, they don't feel the need to sell. So a team like Brentford, obviously, who, you know, like, they're not really on the level of like Aston Villa and Newcastle or anything, but like, you know, they still feel like, you know, if they tried really, like, you know, they can get into Europe or something like that. Like, you know, they just maybe did feel the need to sell and all of that. They wanted him to stay, but like, you know, he said he wants United and only United and everything. So yeah, they came to an agreement. This deal took quite a long time, but like at the end of the day, it's done. And you know, if he plays well, you know, that's like, if he plays well, it doesn't matter how much you spend. Like, even if we spend 100 million, God forbid, but even if we spend 100 million on Mbuemo, if he comes and plays well, nobody's going to remember that. Nobody's going to remember that. So like, honestly, I feel like transfer fees, as much as they matter, as much as it matters how much you spend on the player, as much as it matters that like you guys are just not like ridiculously spending money on players. Like, you know, you're not spending 100 million on a 40-50 million player and everything. That matters, yes, but the thing about it is that at the end of the day, if they ball, and like, you know, it's about the player, it's not about the money that he spends, it's about the player, it's about the impact that they have. So if Mbuemo comes to United and has this crazy impact, which I think he'll have, I think, you know, he's like, we need him in this Amorim system to like, you know, unlock our attack and everything. Is one of the pieces in the Amorim system that will actually help us. And I feel like, you know, if the guy comes, if he balls out, scores a few goals or a lot of goals, helps us like in the long run to become the team that we want to be and everything. Nobody's going to be talking about the 70 million that we paid. People are even going to be saying we send them more money just as an act of whatever and everything. So like, yeah, honestly, like, it's deep, but it's not that deep, if you get what I mean. So yeah, Mbuemo to Man United, here we go, or there we land, as they say nowadays. And I'm excited for this deal. Like, Mbuemo is someone that is really good to help United, you know, like he just has a lot of qualities, and Mbuemo is a workaholic. That's one thing I love about him. Mbuemo is a workaholic. He's not one of those players that is just walking around on the pitch. He's one of those players that, like, he likes making things happen for himself, especially when like you're playing for a team like Brentford, right? Like, you need to make things happen for yourself. Like, you can't just be standing around waiting for the ball to come to you, making things. Like, you need to make it happen for yourself in a team like Brentford. So like, you know, he kind of has that mentality, and like, he's not like, obviously you can say that, oh, his mentality might change now he plays for Man United and everything, but like I don't think that's the case, because like United is never in a position for anybody's mentality to change to like, oh yeah, you know, I'm in a big club now, I'll just walk around and wait for something to happen for me, because United is in a struggling situation right now, so he still needs to work to get what he needs and everything. He still needs to work for himself and all of that. So like Mbuemo is a workaholic, and he's going to stay a workaholic. Like he's someone that likes to track back, he loves to track back. I've seen multiple situations where the guy just tracks back and just makes something happen from deep. You know, he's a good dribbler, he's a good finisher. Something that we're lacking in that attack is finishing. He's a good finisher, he helps us on the counter, and the guy is pacey, bro. He's pacey. And the biggest misconception about Mbuemo is his age, because like just by looking at him, people think, oh, this guy is like what, 29, 30, you know, he's bald and all of that, like, you know, he has the full beard. So people just look at him and think, oh, Mbuemo is like an old guy. Mbuemo is 25, bro. Mbuemo is 25. Mbuemo has like 8 years left in him at least, literally like 8 years. Like, and if Mbuemo stays in Man United throughout, like if it works out for him and he stays in Man United, he can give us a good 8 years. Like, come on, bro, 70 million for 8 years. I'm taking that every single day of the week. Mbuemo is a quality player. Any team in the Premier League would have been looking to have him, and United were lucky enough to get him. So like, I'm happy with that deal. But yeah, now that we've signed Mbuemo, apparently now our next priority is a striker, which I understand, but at the same time, like, you know, there's other priorities on the pitch. Like, I think our midfield needs heavy rejuvenation and all of that. Like, our midfield needs Jesus, bro. Like, I think our midfield honestly needs prayers and all of that. But like, apparently it's a striker that we want next, and like I won't complain about getting a striker next, because like I know that an area I've struggled a lot is our attack. An area I've struggled a lot with is like, you know, scoring goals. So like, yeah, I do understand United going for a striker next. It's just that, like, you know, there's other priorities on the pitch. But yeah, that's beside the point. That's not what this episode is about. This episode is about our striking situation, and you know, like United want a striker next. They're going to prioritize a striker next, and there's multiple names on the list. You know, there's multiple names that, like, you know, are apparently being like discussed, as in like, you know, these ones are more serious, and there's like 1 or 2 names that are just rumors and everything, but I'm still going to talk about those names and all of that. But like, yeah, there's just multiple things going on around United, so let's just dive right into it. So how this is going to work is that, like, I'm going to talk about some of the names that were being linked with and all of that. I'm going to talk about, you know, some of the attributes and everything, what I think they will bring to United, how I feel about them coming to United, and if I just think that it will be a good deal and everything. So like, yeah, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to kind of like talk about the main names, like, you know, the ones that are actually, like, you know, have like not heavy, but like, you know, that being talked about a lot more. And I'm going to talk about, like, you know, maybe like the 1 or 2 that, like, you know, they're just like part-time, like, you know, just rumors, back ends and everything here and there. So like, yeah, let's get right into it. So the first person I'm going to be talking about is Sesko, and the reason why is because I just saw a rumor today saying that, like, you know, he's United's main target and everything. Again, just another rumor, but like, you know, his name being heavily discussed and everything, so it does make sense that, like, you know, nowadays coming out that, like, you know, he's our main target. But yes, Sesko is a name that's coming out of the market right now. Apparently he'll be going for what, I don't know, like 75, 80 million. I don't even know what currency, euros, pounds, probably euros and everything. And yeah, Sesko, Benjamin Sesko, the Slovenian man that plays for Leipzig. I mean, before I get into that, let me actually talk about Sesko a bit. Like, let me just talk about him. Like, Sesko is like, what, he's 22 years old. You know, we've seen like Sesko, you know, like Sesko is a good player, right? Like, I don't watch the Bundesliga. Like, you know, I've made it clear that, like, you know, I'm not really the biggest fan of the Bundesliga. I don't watch it that much and everything, so like I cannot break down every single thing about Sesko. I can't. It's not like I just can't. Like, I feel like if I do that, I'll just be saying what I heard other people say and everything, and I don't like doing that type of thing. So like, I'm going to talk about what I know, right? And what I know is what I see, like, you know, the stats and just, like, you know, some of the games, because I have watched him in Champions League, I have watched him in for Slovenia and everything. So I'll just talk about what I've seen, right? So Sesko, 22 years old, good age, but like that age, like I've talked about this before, I've talked about in the past about, like, you know, how I'm not really looking for like that twin. I'm not really looking for like I'm not looking for a project man. I'm not looking for a 22-year-old striker for us to come and like develop and, like, you know, wait for him to like Sesko is like, he's further along than Haaland was when we signed him. He's further along than Zexi was when we signed him and everything. But like, you know, he's still young, he's still growing, you know, he still has to improve and everything. So like, I don't know, like, I'm not really in the mood for a project, if you get what I mean. Like, I'm not looking for a project right now. Like, he's less of a project than the way, but I think like he still has a lot to improve on in his game, and like, you know, given his age and everything, I just don't think that like a 20-year-old is what we need right now. I think that like 26, 20, I know age doesn't matter as long as they're good and everything, but like, that's just like one thing that I'm just like, yeah, we've done the young talent thing. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying we should go and sign like a 32, 30-year-old. I'm not saying we should go back to like our Cavani, Ibra roots or anything like that. I'm just saying that like this whole 22-year-old thing, that like really young striker that is still up and coming and all of that, like, a project, I don't think we need that right this second. I don't think that's what we need. But like, yeah, he's 22 years old, and he's someone that, like, scores a few goals here and there. He scored 14 goals this season for Leipzig in the Bundesliga. He scored 16 goals when he first came to Leipzig, in the Bundesliga as well. And like, he had a good Nations League. He had like 5 goals in Nations League or something like that. So like, yeah, like, he can get you goals, right? Like, Šeško is a good player, he can get you goals and everything. But there's just something about Šeško that is off for me. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about him that I don't like. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, because like I said, I don't watch the Bundesliga, but like, I don't know, there's just something about him. Like, so there's this thing, right? Like, me and my friend have a name for it. We call it like the bozo gene. And like, the bozo gene is basically like when like a player just has like, what a bozo is, obviously. Like, a player just has those bozo moments, as in like just the ability to do something so stupid on the pitch, like something that like will actually have you shocked, that's something that will have you like this combo, like you're just going to be looking like, what did you just do? Like, Šeško is a powerful runner and everything. He has like skills and all of that. Like, he's a big man. He's like 6'4", 6. I don't even know how tall he is, but like, he's a big man. He's just like, he's like a striker that like a lot of teams will be lucky to have. Like, I'll say a striker that a lot of teams are looking to have. Like, and like, as they should. Like, Šeško is an up and coming talent. He has shown his talent and everything. He can get you goals, and he's good at like, just getting on the ball, if here and there, doing a few like flicks and tricks and everything. But like, at the same time, I don't know, I just feel like he has that bozo gene. Like, there's just something about him that just puts me off. Like, I don't know what it is, honestly I don't know what it is, but there's something about him that puts me off. Like, he gives me like Darwin Núñez vibes. Like, before, like when he was coming to Liverpool, he gives me like Werner vibes. Like, where like, I just feel like, I'm not saying that he will necessarily flop, but I don't think he's going to do well. I don't think Šeško will do that well, especially for United. I don't think that United is like the team for him. I could be very wrong, and I'll be so, like, if we do send him, I'll be so happy if we're wrong. But like, we'll be making a big invest and to be like a big risk. Anybody that we sign right now is like a big risk, but like, I think it'd be such a big risk to sign Šeško, still up and coming, still kind of raw, still has a lot to learn and all of that. Like, like I said, further along than Zexi and Højlund were, but like, still has a lot to learn and everything. And I just can't get over that bozo. So this bozo gene, the thing about it, that it's hard to put it to words, and it's hard to like just like see, okay, this is the reason why you shouldn't sign a player and everything, because it doesn't really make sense, right? But like, it's still something. Like, like we all see like Darwin Núñez, we all saw when he was at Chelsea, when he went to Spurs and everything. Like, there's just something about them, and they came to these teams and they flopped. Like, if you had asked people before Darwin Núñez signed for like Liverpool, the type of player that he was, they'll be like, yeah, he's a good player and everything, he'll get you goals, and he's a good, like, he's just a good player in general. But like, he's going to miss a lot of chances. He has a few like crazy moments and everything. Like, they'll tell you that even when I was the same, for people that talked about Werner before he signed for Chelsea, like, Werner was like a type of guy that like, he's going to miss 5 chances, but at least you score 1 of them, kind of thing. The thing about it that in the Premier League, I don't think you get that many. Like, yes, you can get a lot of chances, but I don't think you're getting that many chances in a game to bag a goal. I think that you're getting like 3, 4, and then like in those 3, 4, 5, you need to bag like you can't be missing crazy chances. Like, obviously anybody can miss chances and everything, but you can't be missing crazy chances and everything. And that's just type of people that like Werner and Darwin Núñez were. And like that was one of the reasons where they flopped, right? Like, they just weren't getting goals and everything. That confidence dipped, fans turned against them, and look at where they are now and all of that. So like, yeah, that's how they were. And I just think that like Šeško kind of has that in him. But like, yeah, Šeško is a player who I'm not fully confident in. But like, if we did get him, if we did say let's work on him and everything, I'll be down. But like, it's a big investment, it's a big risk, and I'm just not willing to take that big risk right now, especially like given the money we've already spent on Cunha and Mbuemo, and given the fact that like we're still looking for midfield reinforcements. We need at least 2 midfielders, I think. I don't think it's just one that we need. I think we need 2. Like, our midfield is atrocious right now. Like, we have nothing going for us in that midfield. Yes, Bruno is there and everything, but I've made it clear in the past that like, I don't think that Bruno fully fits the description of like the midfield that we need. But like, we're going forward with him and everything, which is fine. But now we need to find somebody that can actually play alongside him and not like have any deficiencies next to him. The thing about that, that's going to be so hard, because like you're good to have like a one-man show, really. Like, you're good to have a midfielder doing a lot, most of the defensive work, and like, just allowing Bruno to like do his thing. And those type of players will always get cut off. So it doesn't matter the quality of player that you sign, as long as the person next to him is not doing the work as much as he's doing the work, he's going to get cut out a lot of moments. But that's the thing, like, we're making up for so much and everything now. Like, I feel like in this market right now, it's going to be very hard to sign a player for like, a decent fee that can do exactly what we need next to Bruno and all that. So like, yeah, our money needs to be allocated to different places. So 80 million for a striker is not really what I'm looking at right now, especially given that, like, we've spent 70 million on Hoyland, we spent like 40 million on Zexi. I'm not really looking to spend another like 18 million on that striker and everything. But like, yeah, Šeško is one of the names on the list, not really 80 and everything. I think I'm going to be ranking some of these players and like, the potential move to Man United. And I think for Šeško, I think I'll give it a 5/10 in my opinion. I think I'll give Šeško potentially come to United like a 5/10. But moving on to the next name on the list, we're going to be talking about Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is a player who I admire. I admire Ollie Watkins, and I think that he has a lot of the qualities that we're looking for. And the sad thing about Watkins, I think that Watkins, if he was 2 years younger, yeah, Watkins was 2 years younger, because right now Watkins is 29, he's turning 30 in December. If Watkins was 2 years younger, I think she'll be perfect. Like, I think we like literally, no, it should even be a discussion as to who our number one transfer target should be. I think that Watkins will be perfect, and the reason why is because I think that Watkins is exactly the profile of player that we're looking for in that strike. Now I'm going to I noticed that like I didn't talk about like what exactly we should be looking for in a striker, what exactly like Amorim strikers look like and everything. So I'm going to like kind of describe that, and I'm going to like talk about Watkins a bit. So I think that we need a striker, or I think that Amorim like uses a striker that that can just run in behind, like chase long balls and everything from like defense, just kind of like, and like given the type of players that we have right now, the Mbuemo, the Cunha and everything, we also need a striker that can create for them. Because as much as those players are going to be creating for the striker, like you don't want like a one, like you don't want like a Haaland or anything like that, where like they're going to spend most of their time on the pitch trying to create for him, trying to cross for him and everything. Yes, they're going to create for the striker, that's their job, right? Behind the striker is meant to score you goals, so you're going to spend lots of time creating for the striker, but you don't spend all your time creating for the striker. You want to be able to get into those good positions yourself, and you want to be able to like create for your, like have someone create for you, right? Obviously Mbuemo is going to create for Cunha is going to create for Mbuemo and everything, but like your striker should also be to create for you. So they want a striker that like can kind of like drift out to the wing a bit and just like not stay on the wing like a player like Rashford, right? But like kind of drift out to the wing, just be able to like create for that striker, just be able to get on the ball and everything, and just like try and create. But they also kind of drop deep as well, and just like allow them to run ahead of him, and just like I said, like create a chance for them and everything. But like I think that one of the main things that we're looking for in a striker, or like I'm going to be looking for in a striker, is a striker that like you can play a long ball too. He'll chase after the ball, and like he just gets on the ball and he's one-on-one with the player, and he can take that player one-on-one and like just bag a goal, right? Because I've seen that with Watkins in the past. We saw that with Gyökeres. Amorim use Gyökeres for this type of roles and responsibilities and everything. And like the reason why I said that Watkins are perfect, because this type of player that Watkins is not like a traditional number 9. Watkins is not like, oh, play the ball, hold up and everything. Like that's not the type of player that Watkins is. Watkins is a player that like loves chase after the ball, getting a one-on-one opportunity, and just like take on his man, like that one defender and everything, and bag a goal. So Watkins will be very good at that. He is very good at that type of striker that he is. And also like Watkins is a player that like has consistently like created, like Watkins is a good creator and everything. Like Watkins gets a good amount of assists. See, Watkins is perfect because like this guy has been like, he's like, I don't like using the phrase Premier League proven, because I think it's so limited of people. I think it's a very limited way of thinking and everything. But Watkins is very Premier League proven. Since he came to the Premier League, Watkins has been balling. Watkins has been doing his thing, bro. He has been in the Premier League for 5 seasons since he got promoted with Aston Villa. And in those 5 seasons, he has gotten 16 goals, 8 assists, which was last season. And then going down, he got 19 goals, 13 assists last season in the 23-24 season, which was probably like his best season in the Prem. He got 15 goals, 6 assists in the season before that, 11 goals, 2 assists the season before that, and 14 goals, 5 assists in his first season in the Prem, first season. So like he has just been like consistent. Like look at that, like he has never gotten less than 10 goals in the Premier League season. And if you notice, one of the main things, his assist numbers were always there. Obviously, like 1 or 2 seasons were off, but like he got 19 goals and 13 assists in one season. That was Watkins' best season in the Prem, and honestly, like that was prime Watkins. And Watkins would give you that, right? Like Watkins is going to be able to be a player that will not just score goals, not just be like oh, pass me the ball and everything, but you also want to create for his players and everything. But he's not like drawn to, like, he's not too drawn to the wings. Like he's not like one of those players that, like, he would spend most of his time on the wings and just kind of like affect everything, because I've seen strikers like that, right? Like, well, like, or like strikers, so like the ones that, like, they're wingers but are trying to convert them into strikers and everything, and like, they just want to spend a lot of time on the wings and maybe occasionally run into that 9 position and everything. But Watkins is going to be in that 9 position and then occasionally go out to the wing, try and create for players. And it's not only from the wings that he create and everything, but like he's just that type of player that likes to create chances for other players on the pitch while also finishes in those chances and everything. I think that Watkins will allow us to have that, like, kind of like interchangeability, or whatever the word to use in that situation. Like, just like he'll be able to interchange with Cunha, he'll be able to interchange with Mbuemo, he'll just be able to do that whole thing where, like, they're all run around the pitch trying to create for each other, trying to create, like, score their own goals and everything. And honestly, I think that Watkins would have been perfect. The thing about Watkins, the only problem I have with him is that his age. Like, Watkins is 29 years old, he's turning 30 in December, like I said, and like, he's just like, I think that if you get Watkins right now, you're going to get like 4 seasons max. I think you're getting 4 seasons max out of Watkins, which isn't bad. 4 seasons max, 4 seasons isn't bad in my opinion. But like, is that what we want right now? Because like, how much will Watkins cost us? Yeah, I think his value kind of like reduced. He had a good season last year, he had a decent season last year, but I think the whole Rashford thing kind of like discombobulated the whole thing. I think that, like, his value kind of went down. Rashford kind of took his place at some point, especially in the Champions League and everything. He still had like a decent season, but last season was not his best season, but his numbers were still up and everything. So you can see that, like, last season was even more like one of his best seasons, but his numbers were still up, very up. So like, he's a player that even when he's like off form and everything, he can still get you a few goals and all that. Like, Watkins is a very good player, and I think it would have been perfect for us. I think Watkins is perfect for us, but like, I'm just worried about like the whole age and everything. But like, we need someone that can give us immediate impact, and if we're looking for immediate impact, I think that Watkins will be that. I think that, and given like the players who already kind of signed, like, the Premier League proven players, the Cunha and the Mbuemo, Watkins will kind of like fit the agenda of like a Premier League proven player, and just like a player that, like, what to expect immediately. Like, we're not thinking, oh, 2-3 years, though, we will see him in his full flow. We're not thinking any, like, we know what to expect from him immediately. And I think Watkins will give us like 12-15 goals. I think Watkins give us a good like 15 goals in a Premier League season, honestly, and that's what we need right now. We need strikers that can give us 15-20 goals, and I think Watkins give that, and we have a few assists here and there. And I think that Mbuemo and Cunha would enjoy playing Watkins so much. Mbuemo and Cunha have already played. Mbuemo and Watkins have already played together in the past, with Brentford, but like, I think that they will love playing with Watkins. I think that attack will be set for at least the next 3 to 4 years if we sign Ollie Watkins. But just his age is just was bringing it down and everything. So like, just honestly, Watkins would have been a perfect 10, and he would have been my number 1 transfer target. He is still my number 1 transfer target, given the other players that were linked to it and my interest in them and everything. But like, just based on his age and everything, I can't give him a 10 over 10. I think I'll give Watkins, I'll still give him like an 8 over 10. I think I'll give Watkins an 8.5 low-key 8.5 over 10, just because like, I think that Watkins is the perfect player that we're looking for. I think he has the perfect profile of player that we're looking for, honestly. So yeah, honestly, I'm giving Watkins an 8.5 over 10. But yeah, moving on to one of the names that have been linked with, I'm going to talk about Mateta. Mateta's rumor, like, the rumors surrounding Mateta coming to United have kind of like dialed down and everything a bit. But like, it's still there. Like, it's still one of those things being discussed and everything. But like, yeah, Mateta, a good player. Mateta is a very I've had my doubts about Mateta in the past, but I think that Mateta in general, like, he's a good player and everything. Obviously, he struggled a bit when he first came to the Premier League, struggled for like the first 3 seasons when he came to the Premier League and everything. But since the manager switch and everything, we saw how Mateta just like, like a flip of a switch, man. He went from 2-3 goals in the Premier League season to 16 goals and 14 goals last season, if I'm not mistaken. Mateta is a very good player. Mateta is a kind of like a different profile of player to like, your Ollie Watkins and everything. It's more like a traditional number 9 and everything. And that's, in my opinion, that's kind of like what's putting him, like, what puts him up, because I love traditional strikers, but it's also what's putting him down, because I don't think we're looking for a traditional striker right now. I don't think we should be looking for a traditional striker like a traditional number 9. Yes, I love my traditional number 9s, and I think that he'll still bag a full goals and everything, but given what I think we're looking for, I don't think that a traditional number 9 is what we need right now. But yeah, Mateta is more of like a traditional number 9. You know, you play the ball forward to him, and you know, you just go to like, you give it that hold up play, that proper hold up play and everything. He's a good age as well. He's 28 years old. That's a good age. That's like a prime age. He's about to enter his prime years and everything. So he's a good age as well. Like I said, 14 goals in the Premier League last season, 16 goals in the Premier League the season before that and everything. And yeah, honestly, Mateta will be a good player to have. He'll get you goals. He's a good rotational player in general. Like, he's just a good player and everything. But I don't think he's exactly what we're looking for. I don't think he's exactly what we should be looking for. We shouldn't be looking for like your traditional number 9s right now, in my opinion and everything. But Mateta is a player I love. I also think that he'll still be kind of like a risk. Just given, like, you know, he struggled at first in the Premier League. Obviously, like I said, he's doing well now. But like, I just think that like he'll still be kind of a risk and everything, but his contract ends in 2026, so you basically be buying him for a very good price, in my opinion. I think you'll be buying Mateta for like 25 million max, given his contract is ending next year and everything. So like, you know, there's just multiple factors surrounding Mateta, but like, I'm not going to get too much into Mateta's situation, just because like, I like him, but like, I don't think like he's been heavily linked with us as he was at some point and everything. And honestly, I think that Mateta will be a good player to have. I think that if we got him, I'll not be angry, but I don't think he should be the player that we go for and everything. So just given his age, but his age is also good. Like I said, Mateta is a good player. So given all of that, I think I'll be rating Mateta potentially joining Man United. I think I'll give that like a 6/10. You know, like I said, prime age, still a good player. I love traditional number 9s, but like, yeah, maybe not him, but I'll give that like a 6/10. I think you could do worse than Mateta, but you could also do better. But yeah, one of the other names that's been heavily linked to Man United is Nicholas Jackson. This one, I'm not going to get too much into it because I already made a whole episode devoted to this topic in particular. So I'm not going to get too much into this topic right now. If you want to see what I have to say about Nicholas Jackson, just go watch the episode and you see all my analysis and how I think Nicholas Jackson will fit in Man United and everything. So I'm not going to get too much into this one. But I would say this. One of the main things I said in that episode was, if we're getting Jackson, we need to get the Mbuemo deal over the line. That's one of the main things I said. I think that like Jackson is not going to get you like you can't depend on Jackson to get you 20 goals in your Premier League season. You can never, like, even when he was good at Villarreal, even in his best moments in Chelsea, I don't think you can depend on Jackson to get you 20 Premier League goals, right? So like, you need your surrounding players to be able to get you those goals that he's lacking and everything, but he can still get you a few goals. I think Jackson will get you like 12 to 15 goals in the Premier League. Only like in a good season, Jackson getting you 12 to 15 goals in the Premier League and everything. And one of the main things I said was that, like, you know, if we're getting Jackson, we need to get Mbuemo over the line because we need those surrounding goals around him. And then it now makes like Ahmad, another Mbuemo is there. Ahmad's going to be playing right wing, but which has become a lot more important now because we need goals from Ahmad as well. Makes Bruno more important and everything because we need goals from Bruno as well. So it just makes goals coming around from all the pitch and everything, just because like the striker is not getting you the amount of goals that you want in a striker. So like, you know, like all the other players should be able to get you those goals and everything. And Mbuemo was the missing piece. So it was a player that we didn't have at that time. And now that we have Mbuemo, I think that like Jackson will work. Like I think that like the Jackson deal makes more sense. And the thing about Jackson, like I said, is like he's not the man there. Like he's not like, he's the profile of player that you're looking for, but he's not the man you're looking for. Like, you know, always the bridesmaid, never the bride kind of situation. Like, I don't think he's exactly the player that we're looking for. He has struggled in the past. Like, I talked about, like, you know, his confidence and everything, and how, like, you know, I don't think, like, United is looking for, like, a project like Jackson. And honestly, like, if we sign Jackson, it would be more of, like, a tactical thing where, like, Amorim will just be trying to, like, unlock his attack, like, you know, because like he has that profile, so he's still the profile of player that we're looking for. And Jackson is like a workaholic, like, you know, he can be struggling in form and everything, but still go try and get to those positions. He still go try and press, he straight goes try and do something good for the team and everything. And he fits the description of, like, you know, Amorim striker and everything. So I think that Jackson can be a good player. I think that he will help us unlock the attack and allow us to play in the way that we're looking to play. But like, I don't think that, like, you know, he's perfect for us and everything, just like the man that he is, given the man that he's not the player that he is. I think his profile of player is perfect, but the man that he is now. So honestly, Jackson, I think I'll give that, I can't rate that as highly as Mateta, but I could as well, low-key, because like it's kind of like the same situation. Like Mateta doesn't have the profile that you're looking for, but like he's kind of like the man that you're looking for. But like Jackson has the profile that you're looking for, but he's not the man that you're looking for. So I think I'll look to give Jackson like a 6/10 as well, just because, like, you know, similar situation and everything. So yeah, I'll be giving Jackson a 6/10 rating for potentially coming to Man United. But speaking of players on the low end of things and everything, that leads me to my next player being discussed, which is Dusan Vlahovic at Juventus. Vlahovic is a name that, like, you know, he has been discussed here and there, it's more about like his situation at Juventus with him being linked to United than like, United actually wanting him. I think it's more like, contract done next season, a struggling player and everything, by the dip, all that stuff and everything. But like Vlahovic, I think will be another project. I think Vlahovic is a project right now, honestly. Like we've seen Prime Vlahovic, at Fiorentina that season where he got that 2021 season, he got 21 goals, and in his first season at Juventus as well, he got 24 goals for Juve. Vlahovic has been a good player in the past and everything, but I think that he's like whatever confidence he had, whatever he had going for him, he's kind of like losing it a bit, and I think he's too touchy. He's too here and there and everything. The thing with Vlahovic is that like you can get him for a good deal because, like I said, his contract does end in 2026, and I'm hearing rumors apparently that Juve apparently want to like terminate his contract before it even ends and everything. So you could even get him for free potentially, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's being discussed, because he's free, or you can get him for like really cheap and everything. So people are kind of running into that, like buy the dip and everything. So like that's kind of like what people are saying right now. That's why he's being discussed and everything. And like like I said, we've seen Vlahovic at his best, so we know the type of player that you have when he's actually like at his best. So like if you can actually get into that point, if you actually get his confidence back and everything, I think that Vlahovic will be a very good player. I think that's why people are saying, just discussing his name here and there and everything. But that's the thing, like if you're looking for confidence, like if you're like not like if you're looking for it, like not that like if you want to have it, and like if you're looking for it, I don't think United is the same for you right now. Like you cannot come to United to look for confidence. Like you need to have confidence. I've already said this in the past. You need to have that internal confidence to play for United right now. Like you need ego. You need ego. Like you need to be egotistical. You need to feel like I'm him. And I just don't think that Vlahovic has right now. I think that Vlahovic is like a project that I'm not looking to work on, if you get what I mean. Like I've loved Vlahovic in the past. Like he has been a very good player for Fiorentina, for Juve here and there. He had 16 goals in one of those. I think 23-24 season he had 16 goals, but last season he had like 10 goals and everything. But it's not even just about the goals for Vlahovic. I just think that in general, like his confidence is shaking right now, and I don't think that United is the right place for him to come and find it. So honestly, I wouldn't go for Vlahovic, and I'm not sure about his injury record as well. But like I wouldn't go for Vlahovic. I think that like as much as he has proven that he can be a good player, as much as like if you unlock Vlahovic, you're actually getting like a very good player, very proven goal scorer. I think that just that dip in form, that up and down, that you don't know what to expect. I don't want a player that I don't know what to expect, right? Like I don't want a project. I want to know what to expect from a player, and I think that Vlahovic, I don't know what to expect from him. He's a good age and everything. He's 25 years old. I think he's turning 26 this year or next year. I'm not sure. But he's 25 years old, so he's a good age, in that prime age and everything. But like, I just think that his confidence is too shaken to come to United. And I don't think that United is the right place for him to come. So, given all of that I just said, I think I'll be giving Vlahovic coming to Man United potentially like a 5.5 or 10. I think that he can, like, if you're looking for confidence, he can go somewhere else. I think that honestly, maybe he should stay in Syria. Maybe go to like a AC Milan or something like that. I don't know. Maybe like just another team within Syria. If he wants to come to the Premier League, come to the Premier League. If he wants to go to any other league, go to any other league. But like, I don't think Man United is the team for him. So I think I'll give that a 5.5. I can even give that a 5. I can give that a 5, but I think I'll give it a 5.5 or 10 just because I know that will player that he can be potentially. So yeah, that will be a 5.5 or 10. But yeah, those are the main names that are being discussed around Man United. Obviously now we're looking for like players that will fit and play well with like Mbuemo and Cunha and everything, play well with the team and just like have that confidence that we need in them and everything. And honestly, like I think that like there's names on the list and everything, but like we have a limited budget, and honestly I think that we should be smart about the player that we buy, just because like we have other areas of the pitch that need like heavy investment. I think our midfield needs heavy investment, and yeah. But yeah, those are the names that are being discussed and everything. Let me know what you guys think, who should be our main transfer target. But yeah, that leads us to the end of this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and stay consistent, keep on pushing out episodes, and I just hope to see you guys again next time. Safe.